Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a long time, I know, but I have a good excuse. All right, and my excuse is I don't do this shit. All right, it's just every now and then I get the urge to just talk and record and post the shit on YouTube. And if you pay attention to it, if you like it in any kind of way, thank you, I appreciate it. All right, now again, it's been a very long time since I have recorded anything, dropped anything. And it's not that I haven't been talking, I just haven't been recording the shit. So now that I am actually recording some shit, I will share it with y'all, okay? This year has been fucking crazy. And I love it. It's a good kind of crazy, okay? Some years it's like 2020 crazy, where it's just like everything fucking sucked. But this year, it's been very crazy, but it's entertaining crazy, right? And it started off with Mr. Cat Williams, okay? And let me give a full disclaimer right now. When that interview dropped with him and Shannon Sharp, I didn't like it at first. And it wasn't because it wasn't entertaining. It was very entertaining. I watched every fucking second of the 19 and a half hour interview that they gave. But it was very entertaining. But there was just certain shit that I was just like, come on, Cat. Come on, Cat. And it wasn't even really Cat's fault at that. I mean, yes, it is his fault. He's the one saying the words. But the reasons for me not liking it at first, it just had to do with the people reacting to it. Because I kept hearing the same thing, like, Cat ain't told no lies. Cat telling the truth. He ain't told no lies. And I'm like, no, he's told a couple lies. Like, don't get me wrong. It ain't taken away from the big truths that he said. Don't get me wrong. But he did tell some lies. Like, one in particular, right, was when he said that the Illuminati came to him and Ludacris, right, and said, we're going to pick one of you two to be in this film franchise. But you got to get a haircut and shave your sideburns. And I'm sorry. I guess it's because, I'm not rich. So I guess it's like one of them things where I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's it? Like, what else do I have to do? No, that's it. You have to get a haircut and shave your sideburns. Like, you're going to pay me millions of dollars to be in a film franchise, which is just going to give me countless other jobs just because I'm in this film franchise, right? And you're paying me millions of dollars. And I just have to shave my sideburns and get a haircut. I'm sorry, y'all. Say what you want, talk about conspiracies all you want to, but I don't see how that's a bad deal. I'm just saying. Now, if they said, okay, but in the role, you got to do some things that's compromising to your belief structure in real life, then yeah, I mean, I can't do that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just, just certain things I can't do. But if it's to play the role that Ludacris played in the Fast and Furious movies, I don't see the downside to that. Okay, his character was not compromised. All right, like he just wasn't. But even more than that, the reason why I say it's a lie, right, is because Ludacris's first role in the Fast and Furious movie, it came in 2001, if I'm not mistaken. It came in 2001. Okay, at that period of time in 2001, that meant the it had to be filmed or whatever in 2000. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it came out in 2002. Maybe it came out in 2003. But point is that during that time, we didn't know who the fuck Cat Williams was. Okay, now don't get me wrong. I grew up on Comic View, so I knew who the fuck he was. I didn't. He wasn't the cat he is now, but I knew Cat Williams and Cat in the Hat. Like I could recognize him if I saw him. But for the most part, people got their first introduction to him as Money Mike. Matter of fact, that's all they called him during that time was Money Mike. If they said, "Hey, Cat Williams coming to town," you would have said, "Who?" Money Mike from Friday. Oh, Money Mike coming in. That's how you would have reacted, right? So during the time of that was the role he was known for, right? On the flip side, Ludacris was coming off of back to back to back multi platinum albums with number one hits and crazy videos and world tours and all the awards you can think of. Like, everybody loved Luda. Like, it was just one of them things. He was a star. So if I'm the Illuminati and I got a chance to pick the guy who just came off of multi platinum albums and tours and awards, and he's like one of the most famous people on the planet, right? Or a guy we only know as Money Mike. That's not even a choice. Like, why would that be something that this mythical Illuminati would concern themselves with? Like, you're gonna pick Luda. That's just how it works, right? So when I looked at it, I'm like, that's a lie. Okay, stop. And then also, like, why pick on Luda? Like, like Luda, I promise, Luda's like one of the most likable human beings on earth. Like he's one of the last wholesome dudes that we got left. Like, you know what I mean? Just like it's like he's a likable person. Like why the venom for Luda? Or Chris Tucker. That was the shit that really like Chris Tucker of all people. Come on, man. Like this Chris Tucker. Like this is rush hour. This is Friday. Like this is like why would you Chris Tucker ain't got beef with nobody, man? Like it's I don't know, man. So those things like really irritated me and kind of took me away from the whole focal point of what he was talking about. And that is that 2024 is going to be the year of truth. And he hit the nail on the head, and people's getting exposed left and right. And it is very, very entertaining for me. I will be honest with you. It is extremely entertaining. And like, it started with that, but it segued quickly into other realms. Like, this whole Diddy shit is just, yeah, yeah. I don't even know if I really want to talk about that particular topic, but man, listen, as somebody who grew up on Pac and was a Pac fan, and that's my guy. You start asking who's the GOAT. I'm gonna say Pac. I don't care about any other metric you throw into it. I don't care. It's Pac, right? So seeing Puff go through this type of shit, it's not like, making my heart hurt or anything. Like I really don't give a shit, Puff. Like you made your bed, now lie in it type shit. I just didn't know how fucking horrible the shit went. I'm like, I knew it had to have been a horrible fucking person. I didn't know it was to this levels. Like this nigga is just this nigga is Ike Turner and Satan combined. It seemed like he is just the worst human being that has ever lived. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna touch on the Diddy topic until some more news come out. I will say this: his son should have kept that song in the chamber. He should have just said, "You know what? It was a good idea. I'm just gonna play it for my boys." No, it'd be different if he could actually rap. I guess I wouldn't even really have been mad if he could actually rap. I'd be like, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. Stand up for your pops. But yeah, as much money as y'all had, y'all could have hired one of these hungry ass dudes out here forcing a mixtape in your face when you just trying to get $12 on Pump Six. Like that's yeah, I would have kept that one. But that's anything else that I have to say about the Diddler. We'll have to wait until later on. And then what else happened? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Benzino. Speaking of truths and beefs and all that type of shit, Benzino and Eminem rekindled their classic feud that has kept us all on pins and needles for the last 20 plus years. Like they rekindled it. And I just have to say, damn. Like Benzino, man, hip hop is me. I'm hip hop. I'm born in this culture. It's the only thing I've known since a baby. Like it's hip hop, and I mean in all elements, forms, and everything else. Like hip hop is me, right? So I love a good old fashioned battle, and I'm old enough to remember when Benzino was in the almighty RSO. And then they were like Goodfellas or something and Made Men. It was some shit like that. It was the trajectory took them that way. But I remember those days. And, he was there. And he had the Source Magazine thing. But I'm like, and this is another polarizing topic because there's a lot of people out there who just damn near worship Eminem. And then there's a lot of people out there who hate him with every fiber of their fucking being. And I don't know. Again, I'm hip hop. So I just look at it from the very simple standpoint. As if you have a rapper that, raps and makes music, my only like criteria for him is like, can you rap? That's all I ask. I don't care about any of the rest of the shit. Like even if your subject matter or your songs or the tones or whatever don't really resonate with me, can you fucking rap? Like that's what you do, so can you do it? And if you can, I'm a fan. And M is one of the people like he can fucking rap. And I don't have him like as like my top rapper or top five, anything like that. I have him on the list. You best believe that shit. But he's just not like when I say the GOATs, you have to include certain criteria that people make up on the fly. That's why there will never be a GOAT. It's always subjective. Same thing in basketball, football, whatever. There's nobody everybody's just going to unanimously agree on, like, they're the GOAT. They're the greatest who's ever done this. It's just not going to happen. So Same thing with rap. But the people who like refuse to give this man any credit, like at all, it's the funniest shit in the world to me. I be antagonizing these motherfuckers. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll just go out there and be like, hey man, you know M one of the goats, right? Just so they can just go in their whole tirade about how niggas in the hood don't listen to M and they don't play no Eminem in the clubs. And when the last time you heard somebody put that Eminem on, like y'all have to understand one thing. Those are the weakest arguments you can ever throw in somebody's face. When it's like if you're just really trying to break down why you don't like a particular rapper, just be honest. Because saying they don't get played in the clubs or the hood or that's the dumbest shit in the world. Because there is a rapper by the name of Rakim, right? And there is not a person out there that's gonna sit up there and say Rakim is not one of the greatest rappers of all fucking time, right? But when's the last time you heard somebody say put that Rakim on? When's the last time you heard Rakim on the radio? When the last time you went in the club and it wasn't that little quick 5-minute mix that the DJ throws together where you hear like half of a verse of Rakim? I'm talking about when the last time you heard him in the clubs. So that same argument can be applied to everybody, man. And the whole thing about I ain't never heard nobody in the hood, you know, say riding around bumping the Eminem. First of all, who gives a fuck what people in the hood is listening to? Like, honestly, the hood, the suburbs, the whatever, okay? The reservation. I don't care where you live at, man. Have you ever in your adult life got in your car and got your music all set to play, but before you hit play, you was just like, wait, what are people in the hood listening to? Because I can't get caught slipping. No, you gonna listen to what the fuck you want to listen to. Like that's like it's weird to me when people say things like this, right? And it's even more weird that I got to get so fucking animated over trying to defend Eminem of all people. Like the bottom line is the man has sold a bajillion fucking records when people actually had to buy albums, right? He done sold a bajillion of them, made all the money, all the accolades and awards and whatever else you can shake a shit at, right? And it doesn't really matter at this point if you don't listen to him personally or don't hear nobody in the hood riding around bumping him. Like, I'm just saying, like when the last time somebody said put that KRS-One on, and these is rappers that I swear by, you know what I mean? Like these are the people that's who I have on my list of things, but ain't nobody sitting around listening to these people. So anyway, the Eminem and Benzino beef, it needs to die out. Especially, oh my gosh, the ghostwriting thing was that was sad. And we'll get back to ghostwriting here in a second. But the ghostwriting thing was sad, right? And then he did the video where he went to Eminem's restaurant, I guess, and bought some spaghetti and threw it on the ground. like this is where rap beef was at that point, like early this year. It was messy though. Like I said, 2024 is entertaining mess. That's what it is, an entertaining mess, right? And then speaking of entertaining mess, we got your boy Zack Snyder, who decided to go ahead and drop Jupiter Ascending 2. Or part 2, I should say, the Harvest Moon Rising, Child of Blood and Fire. He went ahead and dropped that, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like the first one was so trash. And y'all, if y'all listen to any videos, or even just check the titles of these videos, you know I'm not a Zack Snyder fan. I was a guy that enjoyed certain elements of his movies, and in his interviews, the way he was describing the movie he was about to drop just sounded like it was about to be the coolest thing of all time. Like when he was describing Sucker Punch, he said, I just wanted to put everything that I thought was cool in one movie. And I'm like, if you can somehow write and bring it all together, that sounds like an amazing idea. Because when you seen the trailers for it, she's fighting robot samurais and orcs and zombie Nazis and like all kinds of shit. Like this looks like the greatest fucking movie that's ever existed. And then you watched it and you're like, oh. And then you notice those patterns continue to follow. So it was I started off like I really wanted that shit to be great. Matter of fact, I tell you guys when the movie came out, there was a just like this giant coffee table edition book of like all the behind the scenes with the artwork and the photos and all that. Like I got that before I saw the movie. So that's even doubling my expectations at that point, because I'm like, whoa, this has to be the greatest shit that I've ever seen in my life. And it wasn't. This full disclaimer, spoiler alert, it was not. It was not the greatest of anything, right? So I started as a fan, but the more I saw it, I just didn't like it. And I wasn't really expecting to like Rebel Moon, the first one, when it came out. But I'm like, he just said he's just doing the Star Wars. Like, you can't mess that up. Like, don't, full disclaimer, okay? I know as soon as I said that, y'all just started having Disney Star Wars flashbacks and was just going into a rage. I'm gonna stop you before you start, okay? Like, it's all right. Just calm down, calm down. What I'm saying is the basic core principles of a Star Wars movie, especially if you're thinking Zack Snyder doing it, is a bunch of battles, lightsabers and spaceships and battles in slow mo. That's what I'm expecting. I wasn't expecting exposition dumps and and the crazy thing is we got all these exposition dumps and still didn't learn shit about the characters, really, right? And then the movie was over before we knew it. And I'm like, that sucked. But he said, I'm cleaning everything up, part two. I originally wanted to put the shit out as one big long movie. And yeah, okay, Zach, let's see it. And Jupiter Ascending to Scar of Moon, Fire Givers, man, it was somehow worse than the first one. And I'll say it for no other reason that it was worse than the first one. The fucking slow-mo grain sequences Zach's problem is he ain't got nobody around him to tell him no. That's his problem. If he did that, like if he got around a real producer that was just like, hey, shut the fuck up. Like he needs one of those kinds of people. And we wouldn't have got Jupiter Ascending Part 2, The Moon of the Harvest Blood Scars. We wouldn't have got that shit, right? We would have got a decent movie. So that's why I ain't got no faith in nothing else he's got coming out. Plus, I forgot the guy's name, but he was the guy that they were trying to get to run Warner Brothers at first, or DC at Warner Brothers, and now he's over Netflix. And I just don't see it working out too swiftly for Snyder. So Snyder fans, I'm sorry. But I will say this is going to be the only mention of Snyder that I'm going to have in this whole video, okay? I'm not going to keep harping on it. I know you guys are in mourning anyway. It's no need to just, it's like kicking a puppy with a black eye and and one of them collars. So, you're just, I don't know, them cone collars. I don't know, man. I feel bad for y'all right now, man. Almost, because the majority of y'all are still assholes. But good luck to you in the future. I hope that when Universal TriStar Columbia buys the Snyderverse now, that you guys would finally get your movies. I mean, yeah. Anyway, moving on past them, we still kept rolling in the year of 2024's entertaining mess. And we got it's one of the best battles I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? It was entertaining to watch. Okay, and I will give full disclaimer: I'm not a Drake fan. So any Drake fans that are expecting me to come in here and tell you with any glimmer of hope that he somehow won, you go ahead and watch something else. Okay, just go ahead and leave, because it's not going to happen. Now, I ain't going to just shit on him. I will say that, but I'm not a Drake fan. I've never been a Drake fan. There has been 2 songs maybe that I can say I don't hate, maybe. And it's not just like he makes bad music. Like, I can recognize he makes good music. What he does, he's good at. I'm just not a fan of it. But there's a lot. Like, I wasn't a fan of Ja Rule. And you couldn't find fucking what we was talking about. They don't play no Eminem in the hood. You couldn't ride around the hood and not hear any of the Ja, everybody who be living it up and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Not always there when you call. That shit was like, you couldn't escape it. It was every fucking where. But I just wasn't a fan. So it's not that far-fetched to think that there's an artist out there that's super popular that I'm just not a fan of. Because coming back full circle, y'all did the same shit with Eminem. Somebody who was just worldwide famous and successful and everything else, right? And y'all just ain't fans of his music. So it's not, a concept that's hard to grasp. I'm just not a fan of the shit. Sometimes I wish I was. These artists that I have to hear 2-3 billion times a day, I wish I was a fan of that shit as much as I have to fucking hear it, like, just unsolicited, just everywhere, right? So they're getting that disclaimer out the way. To the battle, Kendrick dragged this man, and it was beautiful to watch. Not because it was Drake, it was just beautiful to watch a rapper rapping, and not just depending on auto tune and not doing that stomach ache emo rap. Like that's the weirdest shit in the world. I see so many rappers, right? And you see their interviews and they IG posts and everything. These is the most gangster motherfuckers that's ever existed in the history of mankind. They don't give a shit about anything. They're just borderline sociopaths, right? It is just nothing but guns and tattoos and I kill you and fuck you bitch. Like that's the whole fucking persona. And then you listen to the music and these niggas is just crying in auto tune. Like just crying in auto tune and just sad for no fucking reason. And just like and it's just one and they all sound alike. Like it's just one long stream of fucking emo stomach ache rap in auto tune. So yeah. I'm sorry I had to go on that tangent. But but anyway, it was good to hear somebody rapping and being creative and writing. Like it was nice. And Drake, for all intents and purposes, he was doing his thing. The problem is that one, Kendrick's first track back after like that, his first track, Euphoria, really set the tone and he just explained what was about to happen. And then when the shit happened, we're just really sitting around like, oh, okay. So it's like the momentum was kind of taken out of it. And plus, dude jumped the gun. Like the push-ups was cool, but then he did the AI Tupac shit. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I get it. If you're 16, I completely understand why you think that was like a genius level move. If you're over the age of 28, please understand how corny that was. Please just understand that is beyond corny, man. Like, anyway, I told y'all Pac my favorite rapper, but even he could have did AI Biggie, it would have been the same thing. Like, it's corny. Like, it's just corny, man. So anyway, the momentum was his early, but as soon as Kendrick came out, it was just and then it was like 3 songs in one when he did Euphoria. And when we get Drake, we get the same Drake flow and everything else we've always gotten. And it's just like that's not really going to work this time. Like this man is coming with like I'm saying 3 songs in one, switching his flow, changing his voice, doing all kinds of shit, and just directing all his energy at you instead of focusing on ASAP Rocky of all people. Like, come on, man. I love Rocky, but what I'm just saying is that ASAP Rocky has not really been a rapper in a while. He has a very good job right now. He is Rihanna's baby daddy. Do you understand how many of y'all's throats I would slit to be Rihanna's baby daddy? So he gets that job. So kudos to him. Salute to Rocky, right? But even if Rocky did drop a verse or did this, that, and the third, we was just happy to hear him. And he's coming being messy, right? And it's like, it's cool. But while you're battling somebody like Kendrick Lamar, you don't need Rocky verses. You don't need, you know what I'm saying, Rick Ross verses. You don't need to go at any of these other people. The Weeknd of all people. Really, you're in a battle with Kendrick Lamar and you're worried about the Weeknd. Listen, when you drop Take Care Part 2, then you can battle the Weeknd, okay? Like you can that'll be the R&B battle that everybody wanted. In this rap battle, focus on Kendrick. And Kendrick definitely focused on him. Like it was whoo. And I tell people this, all right? I'm gonna sum this rap battle portion of it up, but I tell people like this. When it comes to a rap battle, if you find yourself on the fence and you just really truly don't know who won the battle for whatever your reasons are, whatever your criteria is, if you really get to that point, there is one simple rule that applies, whether you're one of them people that just has to study every super lyrical miracle bar that's in there, or you just the casual, I just need the beat and the hook. I'm good after that. I'll listen to some catchphrases, but you know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm not dissecting bars, right? Whether you on either end of those spectrums, right? What it comes down to is what do you remember more? What left more of a lasting impact? And the clear answer is Kendrick. And I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to Drake's portion of this battle, the things you remember from Drake, 80% of it are not even the actual bars. It's just about what he talked about. He talked about Kendrick supposedly beating his wife, or he talked about Kendrick's wife supposedly cheating on him and having a baby with somebody else and all this other stuff, like soap opera stuff, right? Like, those are like things that he talked about. It's the topic. It's the talking point. But those weren't the bars. What are the bars that he said? You don't say when he's talking about those things. You don't remember those. You know what you guys remember out of the entire beef? It's two lines, two things really that you guys remember from the entire beef, and one of them don't even have shit to do with Kendrick. The first is how you big stepping in the size 7 men's on. Y'all remember that shit, and it was funny. Like it was just fucking funny. But y'all remember that, right? But you know what y'all remember the most out of this entire battle with Kendrick? Metro, shut your whole ass up and play some drums. Like that's what y'all remember out of it. And that ain't got shit to do with Kendrick. So that's what I'm saying. But the flip side of it, you got Kendrick. You remember all that shit. What is it? The braids? You remember every fucking thing when it comes to it. Okay? Don't tell no lies about me. I won't tell truths about you. Y'all remember that shit. And the whole fucking song of They Not Like Us. The whole fucking song. You walk up to anybody right now and be like, A minor, and everybody will know what the fuck you're talking about. So Kendrick won that shit. Stop the debates, okay? And if you're somebody who agrees that Kendrick won the shit, stop even entertaining any type of conversation with people that's like, no, Drake won because Drake was more strategic and Drake has more Billboard hits. Drake got washed. Okay, like it happens. Okay, it happens. Even Tom Brady lost shit. So that's all I have to say about the beef. But for the rest of this year, this shit is fucking crazy. I listen. I'm gonna be back on my nerd shit here very soon. Like I actually got a couple of things that I finished, and I'm gonna upload and do all that wonderful shit with. This was just some shit I felt like getting off my chest right now because, whoo, this year has been crazy. But shit, I hope y'all motherfuckers are safe and having a good time and whatever you're doing right now. Just so I hope everybody's happy, man. And I appreciate y'all listening to me rant about nothing.